Hello, everybody. Happy Friday. I'm just here with my tea, my favorite McMenamins mug, and ready to chat. It's still hot. Had a really good day yesterday. I hope you guys did too. We celebrated Thanksgiving here and did that with my partner's family. And we had a last-minute change in plans. The family member that was going to be hosting ended up having a sick kid, and so we decided to host at the last minute, which was really fun. And I told them all that hosting at the last minute is so much nicer than planning to host, because I felt like expectations were a lot lower for me. So that felt good, which really they can always be exactly what I set them as, so it was a good reminder for me. But it was really fun to get to spend time with family. So today I'm just here to chat with you, and if there are questions, I'd love to answer those. But I also was thinking about our digestive health especially during the holidays, but also kind of digesting whatever context you're in right now. Sometimes the holidays bring up a lot for people. Sometimes family gatherings are stressful. And even if none of that is the case, it can still just be a lot of busyness and a lot of pressure and a lot of activity. So wanting to talk a little bit about the emotions, but also just our body's ability to digest the food that we're eating. Sometimes it's richer or different than we're used to, or maybe a little bit outside of what we know our body feels good having. So just thinking about all of those things. Oh, I have some notes too, so that I don't forget what I want to share with you. And if you don't know me, I'll just tell you, my name's Brianna Crosshall of Brighter Focus. I am a sign language interpreter and a life coach and a doTERRA wellness advocate. And I'm on a mission to help interpreters banish burnout. But I want you to know that this isn't all about sign language interpreters. And those of you who know me know that my message is pretty equally applicable to our work lives, whether you are an interpreter or not, but also our personal lives just as much, because I don't think that we're two different people when we're playing the different roles in our life. We really are the same person, and I just love to integrate all of this into a kind of a more holistic view. So let's talk about digesting the holidays. I have, like I said, I have my tea here. I made ginger tea for me this afternoon. I just had lunch, which was leftovers from yesterday. And I love having leftovers in the fridge. I love not having to think about what I'm going to cook. And sometimes, like I said, those are kind of rich or different foods than we're used to eating. So ginger tea is super good for that. So think about, if you enjoy tea, some teas that are good for digestion. Ginger, peppermint is also a really good one. And those can help your tummy to settle after a big meal. Some oils that I also added to my tea. I often will add oils to my tea, but you can also just put them right on your belly. Ginger oil. Last night I was making some drinks for family members. We were making mules, and I love putting ginger oil in there. And it's doTERRA's ginger is pressed from the raw, fresh ginger root. So it tastes just like fresh ginger. It's so yummy. I love ginger so much. Peppermint, also really great for digestion. So sometimes I'll drop that into my tea, into my peppermint tea, or just a cup of hot water. But also I'll rub it on my belly or just drop it under my tongue if I'm having particular indigestion or upset stomach. My other favorite is Digest Zen. It's doTERRA's blend that is fennel, peppermint, ginger. It has lots of those same things in there. Anise, coriander. I love the taste of this because I love black licorice, which is what it tastes similar to. But it's really soothing for the stomach. So you can rub that on your tummy. And my kids use that a lot too if they have any stomach upset. So those are good ones just to know about. Oh, there's an article I wanted to talk about. I'm going to pull it up right now. I posted it the other day, and I'll make sure that it is in the Brighter Focus group too, because it's such a good one. It's about digestion and eating during the holidays. So it was written by my dear friend and my own personal life coach, Jaya. Here it is. Conscious Eating, 6 easy, kind, conscious eating tips. And so I just wanted to talk a little bit about these because if you do nothing else, these are so good. Her recommendations, and I think some of this comes from Deepak Chopra, I think was what she said. Yeah, from Deepak Chopra. Eat more slowly. So something we all know, but as we're hurrying and maybe as we're sitting down to eat with family and we're talking and we're laughing and we're thinking and we're just shoveling in all this delicious food, that can be one way to help our digestion, is to just slow down. And some ways to do that, I love how she relayed this, and I think Deepak Chopra said it first. Engage with food more sensually, like really taking in the flavors and the textures and being really present, chewing thoroughly, making sure everything is chewed before swallowing. This is an interesting one. Put down your fork, she says, spoon, chopsticks, whatever it is you're eating with, put down your utensil in between bites, which is such an interesting practice, something that I don't know that people do really often, but it anchors us in that pause. And maybe to help us really enjoy that bite that's in our mouth. Don't talk while you eat. That's such a big one, especially during gatherings. So really listening as other people are talking and being able to eat and stay present at that time. And then maybe putting down that utensil and not eating as we're talking and sharing can help just to slow down the process. And then I love this one. Monitor your feeling states while you eat. So staying really in tune with the emotions that are going on. And there may be conversation at the dinner table that is inspiring a bit of stress or some kind of reaction in your body, and just staying really present with what that reaction is, and being with that as it needs your attention, and then returning to eating as you're feeling, feeling ready to. And I love this one. Take full responsibility for your well-being as you eat. I know often I hear people, and I'm sure I have said this and thought this before, it's like eating something that is so enjoyable in our mouth, like I was eating donuts last night, which I love. And one of our guests brought the most delicious, fancy donuts, like super gourmet, yummy Blue Star donuts. And I was enjoying them so much. And there's this way that we can go, oh, I'm being really naughty and I'm eating this thing that I love, but later we feel really awful. And luckily that didn't happen for me with those particular donuts, but I do know that feeling. And getting into this mindset of taking full responsibility for my own well-being as I'm deciding what to eat or how much to eat or when to eat it, I think can go a long way for us and help us in really caring for ourselves. This is another aspect of self-care. So we're nourishing our bodies, and we want to do it in a way that is actually nourishing to us. Because those comfort foods provide comfort. They provide nourishment in this way that they make us feel comforted, I think is the best word. And so, allowing ourselves to have some of those things and doing it in a way that doesn't leave us feeling worse off. So that being said, I want to share a couple of supplements that doTERRA offers that I love. that I use every day that have really helped my digestion, and I notice a big difference in having less stomach aches, which was a problem that I encountered since I was little. I had a lot of stomach aches, I think because I'm a worrier and I get in my head and it really affects my stomach. And so these things have really helped. The first is Terrazyme. It's a digestive enzyme. And I don't need to go too in depth in the science of how this works, but what it is 10 whole food enzymes that when we take them, they help us to break down our food, and they help us to get the nutrients that we need from the food. They also just help our stomach to have an easier time dealing with what we're putting into it. So I take them regularly at every meal, just one. But if I notice that if I eat something that I know that I have challenges digesting, like I have a little bit of a hard time with gluten, I'll notice some bloating and some stomach ache from that. Red meat sometimes, and just like heavy meals. Dairy can also be one for me. So if I've eaten something like that, which sometimes I do, I'll take a couple of Terrazyme as I'm eating that, or immediately after if I'm starting to feel the effects. It really helps to break down those things that I'm having a hard time digesting. The second is their product is called PB Assist. It's their probiotic. And I just love these. I'll show these to you too. It took me I've been taking probiotics for a long time and have tried lots of different brands and some really great ones, very high quality and really expensive, which is one of the, I think, challenges to taking a really high quality probiotic. But what I love about doTERRA is you'll see that it looks different. So it's what's called enteric coated. It has a double layer capsule, and it's coated so that it can withstand our stomach acid and make it through to get these colonizing units, these little good bacteria, down into our gut where we want them, down into our small intestine. And often when we eat something that has a good probiotic content, so either a capsule or sauerkraut or fermented foods, yogurt, a lot of those good bacteria are going to be killed by our stomach acid, because that's what it does. So having these capsules be double encapsulated and then with the special coating allows it to actually get down where we need it, where it's going to be able to grow and improve our flora. And then the green, I just learned this, I love this, that bright green is chlorophyll. And that is a prebiotic food that those bacteria will eat on. So as it gets into our gut and it's released and it's ready to take hold and grow in there, that gives it something to feed on, some good nutrients for it. So I just love these, and I take those every day, and I'll show you the Terrazyme too. The Terrazyme is also in a capsule. It's about the same size as the probiotic, but it's like a powdered kind of substance in here. And you can, if you have a hard time taking pills, or if you want your kids to take this, which they certainly can, you can just open it up and put it into a smoothie, put it into yogurt, anything, applesauce, mix it up. It doesn't have a flavor, so super easy to do that. I love these. And today, a great special through doTERRA, if you buy Terrazyme, then they send you PB Assist for free today. So a great deal to support your digestive health. I love that. And if you don't have an account yet, you can, hi Kate, you can let me know and I can help you get those products and get started with an account. Really great ways to support our digestion, especially as we're eating things that may be harder for us to digest. Okay. Gonna enjoy our tea too while we're here. So I wanted to talk a little bit also about emotions during the holidays, because those certainly affect our digestion, but they also just, affect our whole state of being. And I think anything that can support us in moving through this time with love and feeling that, nurturance that we can give ourselves can be really helpful. And I meant to have, let me grab something real quick. These oils, they're always in my bag because they're my favorite. I probably say that a lot. A lot of oils are my favorite, but these do go everywhere with me. This doTERRA just came out with this. It's called their Touch Emotional Aromatherapy Kit. And it is 6 oil blends that are specific to supporting emotions. And they've been very specially formulated with, each of them have really high quality and precious oils in them that help with emotional regulation. And yes, Kate loves these. Use these all the time. Really good stuff. Help rebuild good gut bacteria. Oh yeah, are you talking about the Terrazyme and PB Assist? Oh my gosh, good stuff. I'm just reading Kate's comment. Yeah, I know you've done a lot with this. So good to hear. And then, yeah, peace and motivate together. Oh my gosh, okay, I'm gonna do that. So I'll tell you the blends in the emotion kit. They're called Passion, Motivate, Cheer, Forgive, Console, and Peace. And you can mix and match as you feel compelled. And sometimes I even like to put all of them on because they smell really good together. Peace. And I want to talk a little bit about placement of these oils. So I love Peace. It's the reassuring blend. It's really grounding. That's usually what I use it for, is to kind of ground me down. Sometimes when I get up in my head. And I'm going to pair it with Motivate, just like Kate suggested. So Motivate is the encouraging blend. And I'm rubbing it here along my forearms. And I just want to talk a little bit about this. Oh my gosh, those smell so good together, Kate. From this book, it's called I Am Fabulous, Blends for Emotional Well-Being. This book was written by an acupuncturist who is such a wise, amazing, engaging woman, and I'm so excited that she is coming to Portland. I think it's in February for to do a class with us. So if you would like to be at this, let me know, and I'll make sure you get the invite. It's going to be so good. So she wrote this book. All of the illustrations are done by a sign language interpreter who I think lives in San Diego. And oh my gosh, now that I'm on the spot, I'm going to get her name wrong. Her name's Crystal. Crystal. Yes, Crystal Molina. Crystal Coral Marie Molina. Sign language interpreter also. So what I want to talk about from this book, the blends in here are so beautiful, but the locations of application is what I wanted to mention, because she has some locations that I haven't seen explained like this before, and I think it's because she's an acupuncturist and she knows these meridians and how different points on the body affect us. And so a couple of the ones that I want to share, she has 9 here that are great, but 2 I think that I want to share right now. Inside the elbow creases, she talks about. She says this is one of her favorite locations for applying oils for emotional well-being, because she says the lung, pericardium, and the heart channels run through the elbow crease. And so when you apply oils here, then she says they quickly enter the lungs and the heart. And in Chinese medicine, these organs are related to sadness and grief. She says you'll experience the sensation of your chest opening and feeling lighter when you apply blends to the inside of the elbow creases. So a really easy place to apply. The second one that I want to mention is, she says, inside the forearms. So just all up and down in here. She says both sides. Have the oils circulate quickly throughout the body from right there. Because there's so many veins close to the skin, the oils enter the bloodstream rapidly. And she says this is the best location to instantly create change in your emotional state. So good to know, like as we're trying to affect our emotions with the oils that we have, good to think about where we are applying them. So using these emotional blends are really, really supportive. I had a friend tell me that holidays are particularly stressful, and they applied peace yesterday during family gatherings and felt really comforted and felt protected from that. The other one that we were talking about yesterday is On Guard, and I don't have it here in front of me, but it's the Protective Blend. It's another great one for creating boundaries and really protecting our energetic space, so that can be a good one for holiday gatherings. And I just want to mention two more, Douglas fir and white fir, because they are very connected to family. So white fir is the oil of generational healing. I love that. It addresses generational issues, patterns that are passed down from one to the next, and feeling burdened by those issues that we have gotten passed down from future generations. It helps us, it aids us in feeling free, feeling this generational healing happen, in creating healthy patterns for ourselves and new pathways, and feeling this sense of spiritual protection that we're protected, that our energy is protected. The other one, well, and I have to say too, they smell so good. White fir is like a really invigorating, sort of like that eucalyptus scent that's really clear and crisp, but then with this like Christmas tree kind of smell also, because it's the fir. So good. And then Douglas fir is, let's see, generational healing is white fir. Douglas fir is the oil of generational wisdom. So they have a lot of the same qualities. They both address generational issues by inviting us to break free from destructive traditions that are passed down through families. So helping us to live according to our own conscious and our own values, and letting go of harmful patterns. So I just think during this time of the year when a lot of people, not everyone, but many people are feeling the obligation and the burdens of the family and the patterns that have been created, these can be really supportive. So having these in the diffuser at home as we're just taking this all in, especially if you're having people over to your own house, like being able to create that kind of atmosphere. And Douglas fir, it's just totally a Christmas tree to me. That's my connection. So I love both of those. Hopefully this has been helpful to you, and I would love to hear more. Please, as people watch this later, continue this dialogue. If you have other ways that you like to support your digestion and support your emotional health during the holidays, I'd love to hear about them. And if you don't yet have oils, then please let me know. And I love to help people get started and support you through that process of making them a part of your life. And other than that, I just wish everyone a very happy Friday and a good weekend. And look forward to seeing you again soon. Thanks.